Hi guys, welcome back to Crystal Communications YouTube channel. I'm your host, Lebohang Luna, and today we'll be taking a deep dive into fire safety and how it is often overlooked within the solar industry. Well, with us, we have a very special guest from Fox ESS. Introducing Mr. Mark of Fox ESS Technical Guru. How are you, sir?
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Mark, I just wanted us to just take a bit of a mini deep dive on what is Fox ESS safety features and how they're actually supported within the battery itself.
Well, I think the primary difference from Fox compared to all other manufacturers on the planet is they basically are the only company that produce from the ground up. So by doing from mining to your table, they control the quality and all features of the battery right the way through. So they have some of the highest safety features available in the world today.
Beautiful, beautiful. And just to follow up on that, there's a lot of talks about high voltage versus low current. And within Fox ESS, we see that low current is the most safety benefit within the Fox ESS. Can you please double a bit on that?
That's a great question. What we really think of is when we think of high voltage, we think of an Eskom transformer and we think of that big danger sign.
Yes.
And we say we don't want this in our home or in our business. But really, voltage isn't the thing that kills you, it's amps that kill you. And so amps are what we need to be scared of, and amps are also the things that degrade your battery the fastest over time. So the higher the amperage, the higher the heat loss, the higher the resistance, and the higher degradation that you have to your battery. So the lower amperage, the better you'll have. Better degradation, longer lifespan, and a safer battery in your home. And what Fox does is it provides its amperage at as little as 1/7 of the market average.
Perfect. Mr. Mark, on the topic of safety, I believe that the Fox EP range of batteries have a built-in fire suppression system. Can you please tell us more about that?
Well, Fox batteries actually have a triple fire level safety suppression system. The first is in the actual cell itself. The cells within the battery that are produced and mined by Fox have the highest levels of battery safety certification that you can find in the world today. This includes certification from TUV, Bureau Veritas, and the IEC standard, which is the EU safety certification standard. What this means really is that these cells have gone through all sorts of durability, puncture, heat, and so on tests to show that they don't experience thermal runaway under these type of conditions. The second portion in the cells is that they have a safety valve in each cell. So the safety valve, basically if the battery is experiencing signs of thermal runaway, will act like a fuse and actually release and cut that cell and therefore turn off your entire battery.
Beautiful.
The second portion of that is that this is wrapped in a completely airtight box. And we all know that no air means no fire. But combined with the airtight box, this means that when pressure needs to relieve out of the box, we have a valve that basically will let that pressure out from those safety valves and then close off and not allow oxygen to basically fuel the fire of your battery. And thirdly, if all of this fails, there is an aerosol fire suppression system inside each and every Fox battery. And if the battery gets to around 400 degrees internal temperature, it's going to fire that aerosol suppression and it's going to extinguish that fire in as little as 3 seconds and avoid battery reignition. They provide incredible triple level safety support to our customers and to you guys out there.
Beautiful. No air, no fire. Mr. Mark, as we all know, with customers, they will often mix and match their inverters and batteries to try and put together a cost-effective solution. Please could you tell us more on the benefits of having an integrated system from one manufacturer?
Well, if you just imagine you were going out and buying yourself a BMW electric car, and you then went to Volvo and purchased one of those batteries. When you got home, it would be up to you to actually configure your battery and your BMS to be in alignment with that BMW car's framework or environment. So this is typically what happens in the inverter space. So in that case, we are leaning heavily on the installer to know the exact battery parameters of that battery that he's configuring with that BMS and that inverter. And if he gets it as little as 0.3 of a volt out, that has major implications to both the safety and the longevity of our battery. So what Fox do for us that's really, really unique is that when you plug in a Fox battery to a Fox inverter, it dynamically configures the inverter for you. There is nothing that the installer needs to do, and this ensures 100% configured battery to ensure that you have the safest and the longest lasting battery that we can find today.
Mark, can you please describe the physical safety aspects of the Fox ESS battery?
It's a very, very interesting question. So normally when I'm out battery shopping, I just think, is it a 10 kilowatt hour battery and can I have one of those? But I don't really give any thought as to where I'm placing the battery within my home. So if you just imagine you put your battery in your garage and the roof corroded because of some poor workmanship or age, and a little bit of water happened to trickle onto your battery, that would be the end of your investment. And obviously this would then pose a high safety risk to your home, to your business, and to your family. So Fox batteries are fully IP65 rated. They are capable of being installed both indoors and outdoors. And they have safety certification tests done to show that they are safe for indoor installation and to be able to be in an area where humans are cohabiting. So the second aspect that we don't really think about is that typically we like to place these items in our garage. We put them in our garage, and from our own personal experience, unfortunately in 2014, I reversed into my battery bank. When I reversed into my battery bank, that led to a huge disaster for me. So what Fox do is the cases of the battery and on the Energy Cube side can withstand up to 120 kilometers of car impact. This is to protect us as homeowners and business owners if a forklift or a car is going to drive into our battery, or it's going to protect the solar installer when he's driving to site and he has this in the back of his car. And if he's in an unfortunate accident or gets rear-ended, then we know that battery is not going to cause any further damage other than just what the accident had.
Beautiful. Perfect. And just to touch base on the Swapout Warranty, how do we go about with that?
So with Fox, they have this no repairs policy. And at first glance, you think, what do you mean? They won't fix it for me. I get a bit shocked. But in essence, if you take it into an approved test center, and they connect the battery and it's shown to be faulty, you will then leave with a replacement battery. So what the test centers also have is they have a full diagnostic set from Fox. We have little boxes. You plug it into the battery and it's going to tell you the full life story of the battery and actually what's going on, and down to the cell level. Each cell has a second set of actual monitoring items, and this allows us to collect 32 data points per millisecond of what's going on in that battery. So incredible robustness and incredible reporting, making us be able to replace those batteries at the first sign of any trouble.
And in terms of for our up-and-coming installers, just wanted to touch base on what type of qualifications will they need to get to be fully certified Fox ESS installers?
Well, thank you. We're very proud that every week we have 3 hands-on training sessions at our Fox centers. So it's typically a morning, you come in and we do what's called from box to backup. So you fully unpack the system and get your hands actually dirty, bring the system live. It also shows you the incredible simplicity of Fox. Fox is made, and the Chinese translation for it is it's made like for children. It sounds a little demeaning, but what it means is that an installer cannot plug a plug in incorrectly. There is only one place that it can go. Even if you try and force it, it won't receive that. So if you come and spend a morning at a Fox center, you're going to do both the physical installation side and more importantly, you're going to work on the cloud side and the configuration and the remote monitoring and the remote diagnosis. And what's really fantastic on the Fox side is from an installer side, when I was a solar installer, it saves us a going back day. Everything on the system can be done remotely, including updating the battery and the BMS.
Perfect. And I was very shocked when I came across this. I believe Fox ESS has a 10-year warranty. Would you like to touch base on that?
Yep. Cool. Well, basically, the reason Fox can be so confident with their 10-year warranty is they control the entire production line, as I mentioned earlier. And that being said, they control the entire quality throughout the process. and they're controlling, probably the most important factor, the full software integration. So it's their software from the ground up. So we know when we install a Fox that it is, as I mentioned earlier, configured 100% correctly. So failure rates are incredibly low from Fox. And what this means is that they can be very confident, and we can be very confident to replace a battery as soon as we have a fault. Also on inverter, the system is the same.
Mark, as an end user, we often know that monitoring applications can be quite complex and daunting. How is the Fox Cloud app different from that?
Well, what Fox's ethos is primarily that the whole ecosystem, and I've used this word before, is made like for children.
Yeah.
And that does sound a bit demeaning, but that leads to the simplicity of the system. What we have from an actual user perspective is there's only 2 settings that you need to worry about. The rest of the system is automatic. So what Fox have coined is this term battery reserve power. If you want to save lots of money, you decrease your reserve and you use as much of your battery as possible. And if you now have a power failure or a transformer out in your neighborhood, you would then increase your battery reserve power to keep more of your power in reserve for the power failure. And the system dynamically does this all for you in the background. You don't have to change anything after that. It will automatically divert the charge to battery should you have increased that percentage and away from your loads, or whatever is in your best interest, the system will bring for you automatically.
Well, thank you guys. It was nice having Mr. Mark here on our show. And I would like to just give a spiritual high five to having him on the show.
Thank you very much. I'm deeply honored.
Wonderful.